According to Hindu mythology, Shiva, one of the Trimurti of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, married twice. First to Sati, then to Parvati. Parvati was born as Mena to Himalaya. It was in fact Sati who was reborn as Parvati. Today we tell you the story of Sati, her immolation to protest against the insult meted out to her husband Shiva. Sati's father, Daksha Parajapati, was born to Brahma. He married Prasuti, daughter of Swayambhu Manu. 16 daughters were born to this couple. Sati was offered in marriage to Bhagavan Shankara. Once when an auspicious yagya was being performed by various Prajapatis, with many Rishi, Devata, Muni and Agni participating, Daksha Parajapati too arrived there. He looked majestic and radiated dazzling effulgence like the sun. As he entered, everyone present, barring Brahma and Shankara, stood up as a mark of respect. Daksha bowed to Brahma, his father, and took his assigned seat of honor. In no time, Daksha noticed that Shankara had not stood up to honor his father-in-law. This offended him greatly. He looked at Shankara with bloodshot eyes, as if he had the power to destroy him, destroy the destroyer, with his looks alone. Addressing the assembly, the haughty Daksha spoke in a sonorous voice. Listen to me, O Agni, Devatas and Rishis assembled here with care. I speak not out of jealousy but of etiquette. This shameless Mahadev has turned the sacred luster of all the Lokpalas to dust. His conceit has blotted the fair name of those who are truthful and civilized. He has the eyes of a monkey. In spite of that, I gave my doe-eyed daughter, pure like Savitri, to him in marriage in the presence of Agni and the Brahmins. He became my son. He ought to have stood up to honor me. At least he should have suitably greeted me. I committed a grave mistake in getting my daughter married to him. I was misguided. This person stays in fearful surroundings, the cremation grounds, and is all the time accompanied by ghosts. He moves like a demented person with matted and uncombed hair and hardly any clothing. He laughs and weeps by turns without reason. He smears his body with impure ashes from burning pyres. He adorns himself with a garland of skulls and ornaments made of bones. He is a fraud, continued Daksha Parajapati in his rant. He is Shiva only in name. By the way, the word Shiva means Kalyan, Kalyankari, one who does good. In reality, said Daksha Parajapati, he is Ashiva, destruction incarnate. I married my innocent daughter to this characterless commander of the ghosts because I was misled by my father, Brahma Ji. Shankara kept his cool. He did not bother to reply Daksha's insinuations and expletives. Shankara's silence further intensified his father-in-law's anger. Daksha stood erect, with his head tilted backwards to curse his son-in-law. He poured a few drops of water into his palm and said, I curse you, Shankara, that you will never get a share of the yagya offerings given to Indra and others. Having uttered this curse, Daksha Parajapati left the gathering. As time passed, Brahma elevated Daksha to be the chief of the Prajapatis. This promotion further turned his head. He decided to celebrate this honor by performing a yagya, to which he invited a large number of rishis, devatas, and other dignitaries. No invitation, however, was sent either to Shankara or to Sati. They were persona non grata, not welcome at the Prajapati's holy yagya. However, such news travels fast. The devatas travelling in their vimanas in the heavens animatedly talked of the great yagya to be performed by Daksha Parajapati. Sati, the Daksha Kumari, heard of this news from them. She noticed the pretty Gandharva and Yaksha women bedecked in garlands of pearls and glistening, exquisitely crafted jewelry, going to the yagya accompanied by their husbands. She could see their twinkling eyes glowing in anticipation. Sati too wanted to visit her father's home. She wanted to share his joy in his elevation and participate in the holy rituals. She wanted to meet her mother, whom she had not met for a long time. Addressing her husband, Sati said, I hear that your father-in-law is performing a mighty yagya, where innumerable devatas and rishis have gathered. I would love to meet my mother and my sisters and their husbands and children. So if you approve, we can go to attend this function. My husband, said Sati, addressing Shankara, you are the creator. You are aware of the reality of this universe. However, as a wife, I do not know the entire truth about you. Humbly, I ask that we go so that I can visit my place of birth. So many women not related to Daksha are visiting the yagya in the company of their husbands. They are going in hordes, dressed in colorful clothes. The sky is full of their vimanas glistening in the sunlight like flights of white swans. Which daughter will not be tempted to visit her parents when such festivities are on? To go to the house of a husband, a guru, or a parent, a woman needs no invitation. Deva, said Sati, you are kind and compassionate. Your wisdom is infinite. As Ardhanarishwara, you have made me a part of your body. I shall be obliged if you accede to my request. Shankar replied, my beautiful woman, your observation regarding going to your father's house uninvited is correct. Only if his unjustified anger, pride, and a sense of superiority had not blinded his vision. Knowledge, finance, riches, a well-built and healthy body, youth, and a family of noble values and status are assets of the virtuous. However, in the mean and the lowly, these attributes, values become a cause of their downfall. They become proud. Their vision gets distorted. Listen, my charmer, you must not go uninvited even to your relatives, where the latter will cast cunning, unpleasant, and angry glances at you. You are my wife, and your father is angry with me. You will not be given a warm welcome in his house. Frankly, Sati, Daksha is jealous of me. I cannot help if he does not know my reality. He had humiliated me in the yagya of the Prajapati. I am not affected by such ignorant misbehavior, but I care for you. Do not go. If you go, the consequences might not be pleasant for you. You might not be able to withstand your humiliation. Sati was beside herself with anguish. She wanted to visit her parents. Yet she did not want to offend her loving husband. She wept. She shivered in uncontrollable rage. Then she set out alone for her father's abode. Bhagavan Shankara could not desert Sati. He genuinely loved her and desired her welfare. Accompanied by hundreds of attendants riding the mighty superfast Nandi, he soon caught up with her and seated her in front of him, his arm fondly circling her breasts. For her pleasure, entertainment and diversion, Shiva had asked his attendants to bring along sarika birds, balls to play with, a looking glass, lotus flowers, a broad gleaming white canopy, a fly whisk, flute, conch and other musical instruments. Sometimes later, Shiva let Parvati proceed on her own to her father's place. Her entourage followed her in a magnificent procession. Soon, Sati arrived at the Yagashala of her father, where each Brahmin was trying to outdo the others in the recitation of the Veda mantras. While she was welcomed by her mother and sisters with cries of delight and affectionate hugs, Daksha Parajapati ignored her. She soon found out that there was no seat provided for her husband near the holy fires, nor were any offerings being made to him as the Mahadev, the god of gods. Daksha was being deliberately offensive to his son-in-law, even though he was not present there. Agitated by this insult to their master, Shiva's attendants were ready to strike the host. However, Sati motioned them to remain silent. Then, in the hearing of all those present, she denounced her father. Respected father, said Sati, there is no one greater than Mahadev in the universe. He is the soul, the conscience of all beings. He is not attached to anyone, nor is he inimical to anyone. He cannot be your enemy. He is the cause for everything, for every being. Yet you treat him with hostility. You are looking for faults in others all the time. This is not the behavior of a sadhu purusha. Father, persons of a noble character do not speak ill of Mahatmas and sages. It does not behove you to denounce Mahadeva, who stands supreme with your father and Vishnu as the Trimurti. Whatever may be his mode of dress or living, even Brahma and other devatas reverently place the flowers and garlands that have caressed his feet on their head. Daksha Parajapati was unmoved. He ignored Sati's pleadings as the meaningless chatter of a doting wife and an ignorant woman. Sati had made up her mind. It was better to give up her life than bear the insults heaped upon her husband by her scornful, condescending, self-centered and haughty father. Sati walked to the center of the yoga pavilion and in the hearing of all those present declared, "You have denounced Bhagavan Nilakantha. You have insulted him without justification. I cannot continue living in the body that was given by you. One is purified by vomiting out tainted food taken unintentionally. Father, you think too much of yourself. A human being need not denounce the path others follow for salvation, even if it is a different path. Father, Shiva is supreme. His magnificence and grandeur are invisible. He is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. Only those Mahapurushas who have attained supreme wisdom can reach him. Father, you do not have Shiva's sovereignty. He rules the creation. You are a pygmy when compared to my husband. Your behavior is despicable. You have humiliated Shankara. You have lowered yourself in my esteem. I am ashamed at being born as your daughter. I no longer desire to live in this body, which is your gift to me. Facing north, Sati quietly sat down on bare ground in the Yajna Mandap. She performed ablutions with a few drops of water. She put on a saffron covering. She closed her eyes and went into a meditative trance. Soon her breath stabilized. She concentrated all her breath in her Nabhi chakra. She then lifted her breathing towards her heart and lungs. From there, the blissful Sati moved her breath via her throat to the central point between her eyebrows. Hers was a body that had often been lovingly caressed by Shankara. Now, out of anguish with her father, Sati invoked Agni and Vayu to kindle on their own and consume her in their flames. She felt no pain. Her attention was focused at Shankara's lotus feet. Freed from the belief that her body was a gift from her father, Daksha, Sati was soon consumed by Yogagni. Later, she was born to Himalaya and Mena as Parvati. She married Shiva after wooing him with a severe penance. Kalidas has lovingly written about that episode in Kumar Sambhavam, a masterpiece of Sanskrit literature.